She could be my little freckle-faced fidgeter, me but miniature, sleeping on the sofa till she tackles and I tickle her the whisperer. I could be your listener, telling me your stories while I'm showing her a signature to scribble her. Saying that she's finished, but I tell her eat a spinach and she'll see the sky's the limit. Trust, cause when we're with it I can feel it, ain't no limit. Just be free, me and my sister, I can see the skies are limitless. I feel her brush her hand across my cheek till I speak. I yawn and say good morning, keep her sweet, squeeze her deep till she giggles, starts to wriggle in the sheet. Then she disappears and sweeps me off my feet. I need to eat. I'm reminded of the handshake. Remember that I promised her some pancakes. So I stagger to the stove and start to stand brave. See, I'ma make him like that now, mate.
I see you perching on the corner of the weeping window pane. They're growing up fast just like the flora. The one is yours, come shine the rain.
I could be a freckle-faced flicker, her but bigger. Shelter her from school when all the snitches start to snicker. I'll be sticking with her, hold her close and deeper within her. She would better be reading the recipe, we're cooking dinner. My little sinner wonder walking in the park. Put her to bed and then...
Yes, folks, how are we? So that is the morning routine wrapped. That is pretty much what I've been doing the last year to year and a half now at this stage. It has followed a consistent trajectory usually. Sometimes I'm fairly flexible with it, to be honest, and I don't really want it to ever be a case that my routines control me, whereas I like to be kind of in control with them. So sometimes if I just feel like not doing the routine, or if I feel like changing up a certain habit, maybe not doing my meditation, maybe reading for longer, I kind of just go with it, to be honest, because I think there's too much of these people talking online that you need to be doing, you know, these set amount of habits, and it ends up that your actual habits and your routines are just controlling you and you're not actually getting the benefits out of it. So for me, it's just really important that I actually enjoy doing them, and that's how I'm going to get the benefits out of them, by actually enjoying them, say especially with your habits like your meditation, your journaling, because you need to be actually enjoying them, you need to be relaxed into them. So that's the first thing, and I think they're just so important for that, because if you are enjoying them, they really do just give you that, I suppose, clarity for the day ahead, because you go into the day and you're not just overwhelmed with all the information that you're maybe taking in through looking at social media, or, you know, whenever you wake up first thing and you look at your phone, you're instantly just on high alert and you have that like anxiety just sitting in you for the day. So I think that just gives me a chance to wake up. There's nothing really special for me in doing them. They might look like these kind of voodoo tactics or stuff, because there's a bit of a stigma around meditation and journaling and stuff, but I think the science is there to back them at the minute, and really just like minimal practice of like 1 to 2 minutes each day with them will be enough to see benefits over the long term. So like if it's not something that you haven't been doing, or if it's something that you haven't been doing up until now, I definitely would recommend giving it a try, just to give you that, I suppose, breaker into the day, or just ease yourself into the day, because the way life is now, it's just all go. It's just like as soon as you start work, it's just bang, bang, bang. So if you just give yourself that 15, 20 minutes, 5 minutes even, however long you have, just give yourself that time to wake up and ease yourself into the day. Like, I don't think anybody ever will regret giving themselves a little bit more time to just spend by themselves and just get clear on the day and get clear on the thoughts. Especially now, like as I said, life is just busy. So that's really the main purpose for me, and that's why I find them so important. And I notice the difference between whenever I actually do my morning routine and whenever I don't. But like for me, as I said, it's nothing magical or anything like that. It is simply just to protect my mindset in that early doors and ease myself into the day, because I want to be in control of the day rather than the day controlling me. But yeah, let's get on with the day.
So many questions, who do I ask? Where do I go from here? What are you smoking? Ain't no average girl, my one top tier. What is it now? I stood on business and I made it clear. I'm over it now, you done all this to make me look weird. If it's you or me that speak on you, I'll be deep in like.
So plan of attack for the day is obviously I have to go up and get the shoulder sorted, go up for meeting with the consultant to see what we need to do with it essentially, but I will fill you in on that more later. Essentially, just finished up work block 1, and on Mondays it's usually just looking like we do content for the day, and obviously touch base with a lot of the lads, make sure they're all good to go for the week, and sort out any issues that there is, make sure everyone's locked in, ready to go for the week ahead. As miserable as the weather is, we still need to keep the spirits high. So that's usually how our Monday looks, and then obviously Tuesday we're checking the boys in and making sure they're good to go and making any tweaks that need to be done in their programming, especially now at Championship. There is some small tweaks that we need to make every single week to their training, to their nutrition, to make sure that they're firing on all cylinders. So usually the first few days of the week is really busy, so obviously not having these appointments, having the injury at the minute is not ideal, but we keep trucking along and we will get it sorted. So yeah, that is pretty much the plan of attack for today. We'll keep you posted whenever I am away, and yeah, into work block 2. So we're en route now to Drogheda Hospital to see whether I need surgery or not. Can't wait, but fingers crossed I don't need surgery. Don't know which is better, but probably much the same, but a lot less hassle without surgery, so fingers crossed. I'll keep you posted. What is the crack? So we're back from the hospital now, and some pretty positive news, but I'll fill you in on that now in a minute. For any of you who don't know, I suppose what happened was that I thought I fractured my shoulder, got a hit on it in relatively early on in the game, which is always a killer. We were just picking up steam and got a shoulder into it, and pretty much thought I heard a crack, but I wasn't too sure. Obviously it happened so fast and had to go off. It was just like, it was so painful compared to even like ACL, compared to previous injuries. This was definitely up there with the most painful, to be fair. And I'd like to think I have a pretty high pain threshold, but anyway, we got to the hospital. They thought it was fractured, told me to go to I went to Calvin first, then they sent me to Drogheda and they x-rayed it, all that good stuff, and then they were like, it's like 7 in the morning, and they just were like, nah, you have to go home and come back on Monday, which is today obviously, and then we'll tell you whether it's you need surgery or not. So I went up thinking that it was obviously the fracture as they told me, and that they were just going to tell me whether I needed surgery or not today. But then went up today, change of plans, they actually told me it was a dislocation of the AC joint, so it's not a fracture at all, which is good, thankfully. So there's no fracture in it, just a dislocation, but it is a pretty bad dislocation. I'll put up a picture on the screen now. But the dislocation is like grade 3 or 4, I think, and they haven't actually confirmed that. So they told me that I have to go back up next Monday to see whether it's going to require surgery or not. So they just keep kicking the can down the road here, but I'm going to try and get some more clarity on it this week, like a bit sooner, because the quicker I can get like clarity over what needs to be done, the quicker I can get that in place and start recovering, because the lack of clarity at the minute is just frustrating me even more. And I suppose that's never good at this stage. You just want like, right, I know I'm getting surgery, I know I'm not getting surgery, whatever, and then you can start your recovery process. But I think, as far as I know, I still need to do a lot more research into it, and the AC joint recovers a bit quicker than a fracture. So if it's just a dislocation, it'll heal a bit quicker. So fingers crossed it's not too bad of a grade. Like there's quite a big separation. So if it's if it's a big enough separation, then they might do surgery on it, but we'll find out later in the week, hopefully. But yeah, like I suppose the last couple of days have just been tough. Not gonna lie, I could easily sit on here and tell you it's been a walk in the park the last couple of days. But I suppose any athletes or anybody who's been injured understands that the first couple of days are rough, like, because you start to question everything that you've done, question whether you were prepared enough, whether you could have done more, whether you should have turned that way instead of that way, and you just literally question the fine details, and that is really, really frustrating. And obviously whenever you're thinking that your whole year could be over, which is in doubt now, or which is unsure at the minute, I may be able to make it back, I don't know. But whenever you start obviously catastrophizing, that obviously makes it a lot worse, and them initial few hours are tough. And I think for anybody going through injury, it's important to realize that it is a grieving process, and this is something that I've learned from my countless injuries at this stage. But I suppose they've kind of prepped me for this one, which is good. That it does take a grieving process. You go through your denial, you go through your anger phase, you go through all the phases, and it's important to allow yourself to go through them phases. Like, I was just down the dumps for the weekend and kind of just let myself feel them emotions, because I knew that the acceptance stage was coming, and the quicker that you can get to the acceptance stage, then the better you can lock in, the better you can move forward with. And I suppose from working with great physios and with great people in general over the last few injuries, they've kind of taught me how to just mentally reset, and that is literally just by what can I do this week or today, even, like, what's the one goal, what's the small little targets that I can do to move forward. Because like in that denial and frustration phase, you're just playing, you're in that victim mindset, and a lot of people can stay in that mindset. And like, not to say that that's the right or wrong thing to do, but the longer that you stay in that, the more you're delaying your actual recovery, and you're delaying you getting back in the wagon and fully driving on your rehab. So it's really important that you can get to that acceptance stage, and as I say, just reset your mindset to look at, what can I do this week, what can I do today, like small little things. It doesn't have to be massive. Like today for me was just literally getting my nutrition back in order and supporting my injury through that. Like, that is all I was doing today, and like, that's nothing big, but like, it's a small little win that I can take. At least today I made some progress. So I just want anybody to realize that, like, injuries, yes, while they're part and parcel of the game, they're a fairly complex thing to be dealing with. Like, they're not just straightforward, and I know obviously in GA and stuff, a lot of people just talk about like, oh, just get on with it and stuff like that, but I think there's a lot more to it, and certain people are affected differently with it. So just allow yourself to go through that phase, but then get to that. Once you get to that acceptance phase, take responsibility and take full ownership of it. Write down your top 3 goals for the week. How am I going to achieve these? How am I going to move myself forward? Because that is the only way you're going to make this manageable. Like, if you're stuck in that victim mindset for the whole 12 weeks or whatever rehab you're going through, or I'm going through, then it's going to be very, very difficult to come back from that, and really will put you in a negative place. Like, if you go into it with that growth mindset and just looking at, right, what can I do this week to get better, you'll actually come out the back end of injury in a far better place. Like, any of the injuries that I've done previously, I came away from them actually grateful that I've done them, because I've learned so much about myself going through these hard times. I've learned so much about my body, how I can move better, how I can run better, how I can just open up myself a little bit more. So I think there's always positives, there's always a silver lining to these things, and as hard as it is, you do learn the most about yourself in these difficult times. And I know that sounds very motivational-esque, but I think it is important to realize that. And literally, like, for myself, that's where Kaizen came about. Like, for me, I think, like, doing the ACL previously, I realized that I really needed to focus on what is the 1% that I can do today, that I can do this week. And the more I focused on that, like, in 12 months time, I was so much better for it. I was so much better as an athlete, as a person, just literally by getting better 1% every single day. So yeah, that's a long-winded rant, but I think I needed that, and hopefully maybe you took some value away from it too. But yeah, look at onwards and upwards. It could be a lot worse, to be honest. I'm grateful that I can still move. I can still do a lot of things, so it's not too bad. Let's just hope we are back on the field relatively soon, maybe for championship. Who knows? But we will see. Yeah, if you've watched this far, I appreciate you, and hopefully plenty more YouTube videos coming on this topic and whatnot, so you can come along on the journey with me. But yeah, I will see you in the next one, and appreciate you.